invited only with our highest good today to discuss, asking our guides, our angels, our soul family in today to be part of this, so that we are speaking only of the highest good and we're sharing only the highest good to the people that watch this.
It's awesome.
Good deal.
Well, I think that's the best way to start.
I agree.
So hi everyone, I'm Danielle with Island Direct Primary Care, and this podcast is going to be a little bit different because Dr. Johnny Piran is not able to join us, but we do have Sam on this one.
Hey there, my name is Sam. I'm one of the patient care advocates here at Island Direct Primary Care.
And we have Robin back again, so thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Can you introduce yourself to everyone that may not know you or remember you?
Sure. I'm Robin Chestnut. I am in the process of studying Reiki. Reiki is energy healing, and I am taking classes, and when I get done, I will be a Reiki Master. I hope to have my own practice, not hope. My intention is that I will have my own practice for Reiki healing. I felt very called to this practice over the years, and finally have made the commitment to do that because I want my legacy to be, when I leave this world, that I was a healer, and that I put healing, offered people healing, and that I put healing into this earth and into this world, and just made the world a better place for people.
That's amazing, thank you. So the last time you were here, I think that was back in middle of January?
January.
And we sort of got to know you and just sort of talked to you about Reiki and why you're doing Reiki. So now we're meeting back like 2-3 months later. Can you talk to us about where you are in Reiki and how your journey has progressed?
Yes. I'm a Reiki 1 now. There's 3 levels in Reiki: Reiki 1, Reiki 2, and Reiki Master. I'm working towards being attuned to Reiki 2. The thing I found out about Reiki that was the biggest surprise to me is that it's an intensely personal journey. I have been encouraged to look very deeply into myself, to figure out what I needed to heal, how I needed to grow in order to raise my vibration to be a more positive person in the world. And it's been intensely scary and amazing at the same time, what I've learned about myself, the healing that has happened in my heart and in my soul for some past things that I thought I'd let go of, and that I hadn't let go of them, and have let go of them now. And that's very important for people who are practicing any modality of energy healing, because we work with our energy vibrations, and I need to be able to raise my vibration through healing and through love and peace and joy in order to bring that level into Reiki when I have Reiki sessions with people.
Can you tell us about how your sessions have been now that you've started practicing on people?
Yes. When you come to me for a session, I will do some specific things, but the main thing I do is, I clear the aura in the room. I invite only what's in for our highest good, so that when we have the session, that is happening. I practice a Reiki that we invite in a higher power, whether you call it God, Creator, whatever you call it. I invite in angels. I invite in your guardian angels. I invite in your spirit guides. And I invite in your soul family to be a part of this. And I invite mine also to be a part of that. When you're tuned in Reiki, you get Reiki guides, and I ask them to help me specifically of where I need to work on your body, where I need to go. And then we start the session. And I do what we call a Boson Scan on you first, where I just take my hands and I can scan over your body, and I can feel different vibrations coming from different places. And for me, every Reiki practitioner, it's a little different for them. You can't say this is how every Reiki practitioner does it. For me, I get what I call hot spots on places that I need to maybe spend some more time on. But I start at your head and I work towards your feet, and I do some work on your chakras, which are your energy centers. You have a crown chakra, you have a third eye chakra, you have a throat chakra, you have a heart chakra, you have a solar plexus chakra, you have a sacral chakra, and then you have a root chakra, which grounds you to the earth. And I work on those, kind of opening those. I open your aura up so that a higher vibration can come in. I open your chakras up, but I also work on, parts of your body. Like if you have some pain somewhere, I will work on that part and put, work on your energy in that part. And please understand, I don't give you my energy when I do Reiki. I work on your energy. I don't share my energy with you. I don't take your energy. I just work on your energy through my energy.
So I have a question with that. With working with my energy, do you balance the energy I have or try to raise my energy?
A little of both.
Okay.
It depends on what your body needs. Like, even if I wouldn't get to a specific exact part of your body that needed Reiki, your body pulls that energy in to where it's needed. Some Reiki practitioners have actual points on their body that they work on. The way I've been taught Reiki is I just follow kind of the lead of your energy on my body, and that's where I go. But I do, start at the top and work towards the bottom. And it's interesting because I'm called to, or I call it called, but I'm kind of drawn to places on people's bodies. And like I did a nurse, and I was very drawn to her hands and the energy coming off of her hands because she was a healer and she used her hands. It was interesting. I worked on another person who had an issue with her foot, and I was very called to spend extra time on that foot when I was having the Reiki session. So yes, I work to kind of what I call smooth your energy out or get your energy flowing. And this is probably a very poor description, and other Reiki people would probably chastise me, but it's almost kind of like an energy massage.
Okay, I can see that.
I kind of, work on moving the energy around, opening things up, getting things flowing. We have meridians in our body that are channels that flow energy. We have our chakras, and I just work on opening all of that up.
It's interesting because I actually had a session with Robin. What was it? Not last week, the week before?
It was last week.
It wasn't last week?
It was last week.
Oh my gosh. It was last week, and the insight I have while we're talking is really cool because I relate when you say it was an energy massage. It was an energy massage. Like, I felt like I was refreshed after, and I felt the hot spots that you were talking about, and I really enjoyed it. I thought that, the way you're describing it is exactly how I felt, so I thought that was very interesting. And if we want to tell the people how you had hot spots on these other people, you found one on me, which is very interesting. So, do you want to explain it?
Do you want me to? It's your personal information.
Go ahead,
so,
I don't mind.
Couple things I'd like to tell you about our session. First of all, afterwards, she told me that she had gone and had a chakra cleansing in her heart area and her throat area, and her energy there was very nice. I don't even know how else to explain it, except it was very nice. It wasn't like, whoa, and it wasn't hot. It was just almost like a pond that you see that just doesn't have any ripples on it, and it's just clear and sparkles up. That's what this part of you felt like when I read that or felt that energy off you. But as I went down, I was drawn down to her sacral area, which is like where the fallopian tubes are, all the sexual organs are. And there was a lot of intense heat coming off of that. And so I asked her afterwards, I said, I don't mean to be personal, but are you having your period right now? And she said, yes, I am. She said, I wondered if you'd pick up on that.
Yeah.
And I did. There was a lot of intense energy. I kidded her. I said, well, I know you're either having your period and ovulating or you're pregnant, one or the other. She assured me she wasn't pregnant, so
it was the other.
It was the other. But I could tell that by
Yeah.
the amount of energy that was coming off of you.
Which is really cool. You know, I was driving to the session. I was excited. I was like, did not know what to expect. I was like, I'm going to experience Reiki, and what happens happens. Like, I'll enjoy the experience. But then I'm thinking, I was like, wait a second. Like, I have my period. Is she going to know? Like, will she be able to feel the radiation, energy, you know, sort of thing? And she did. So that was pretty cool. But overall, I really enjoyed the experience.
Good.
I felt very relaxed. I felt very at peace with myself after. So I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah.
Have you heard similar feedback?
I have heard. It's interesting. It depends on what people come in with, and right now, while I'm learning, I'm doing Reiki sessions for free for people, and nobody ever. There's only been one person that's come to me that's ever experienced Reiki before. I find that extremely interesting that people want to know what it is. And they've all had super positive experiences with it. And, I've had people talk about, I do invite, family in, I do invite, people that have passed. And one of the things that's happened with me, and seems to happen with Reiki people, is your clairs open, what they call your clairs. So like your clairvoyance and your auditory clairs and smelling, that type of thing really opens up. And but I also invite them to make themselves known, that they're present to the people that I'm Reiking. And I have had people experience their family members come through to them and feel them. One person that I was Reiking, before I even started, I felt this whoosh into the room, and I knew her grandmother was there. She had lost her grandmother over the last few months, but I just knew her grandmother was there. And I said to her to begin with, your grandmother's here, before we even started. And while I was Reikiing her, I just kept hearing Maria, M. And I said, what's your grandma's name? And it wasn't Maria, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the name, but it was an M name. So and then she came very clearly through to me, and she kept holding her hands over her heart and saying, my baby, take care of my baby. And so when I asked the girl that I was Reikiing afterwards, she said, my grandmother raised me the first 3 to 4 years of my life, and I am her baby. She referred to me as her baby. And she was just coming through saying, take care of my baby, take care of my baby. So I was able to pass that message on to her.
Yeah. That's so sweet.
And let her know. And there's been some other people that have had that. And there's been, and they've come through to me where, people are, it's hard to be open to that. And even if you think you're experiencing it, you get in your own head and you're like, no, this is just my mind telling me.
Yeah.
And it's really not. It's people trying to come through to you. I had a friend, and I was getting ready to Reiki her, and she's been through some pretty traumatic events in the last year or so, and I was sitting there talking to her like we did before we started, and I'm like, did you have someone in your life that smoked a pipe? Because I could smell a pipe smell, and she goes, my father. And I said, well, he's here right now with you for this time, and so I get those types of interactions. Mm-hmm. But people have experienced a lot of different things. You can experience, some people have talked about when I put my hands around them, I don't touch you, I'm just around you. They said they've experienced heat coming off my hands. Some have experienced cold coming off my hands. And it's just, it's not a right or wrong, it's just how that experience happens. Lots of emotions sometimes can come up, and I've had several people talk about lots of emotions coming up and waves of emotion, hearing buzzing in their ears. And my Reiki master believes, and I do too, that when you hear a buzzing in your ears, when you're kind of in that state, that's a message from the other side trying to come through to you. And instead of going, oh, my ears are buzzing, just say to the universe, I accept this message, and we'll get it at the time and place I'm meant to get it. So you accept it, it comes into you, and then it's given to you when you're ready for it. So
that's really cool.
Yeah. People have seen, had colors and just different things happening.
So I was laying on the massage table. my eyes are closed and I'm just, like, where is Robin around my body? And I'm like, oh, I feel her by my feet, and I'd open my eyes and you're by my feet. Or I felt the strongest is when you were by my neck. It was like kind of a heat, not really. It was just like a feeling, and I was like, wow, I really feel it. So it's cool, but it's different to describe until you experience it. Do you have any questions? Because I know I have more of like an insight at this point.
How did you feel going into it?
Oh, going into it, I was open. I was just like, I'm not sure what to expect out of Reiki, but I'm excited to experience it. And that was my kind of only feeling. I had no expectations. And then coming out of it, I felt really good. I felt kind of like relaxed and just together, all at one sort of thing.
Cool, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Do you feel like if people are not as open-minded going into the session, it may not be as effective? Or do you think it would still have the same effect?
My first reaction is I don't think people who are open-minded would come do it.
Well, you do have a good point there.
But you can block your energy, and your energy can still be moved around. Would you get as much out of it? Probably not, but you wouldn't, I don't think you would not get anything out of it. Because it's only for your highest good. We only work towards your highest good.
What's interesting is that I learned after our last podcast is that hospitals actually have Reiki Masters, like in the hospital. Because I know people could be skeptical of Reiki rather than like the traditional medicine. But that was really interesting to learn that like Reiki is in hospitals. So
yeah, and there's more types of energy healing than just Reiki. There's other type of energy healers out there. My sister lives in Iowa, and she works with an energy healer that doesn't do Reiki, but she works with energy. And for my sister, and I need to talk to her because I haven't had time, but she's texted me. My sister has had 2 Indians come through to her, and she physically sees them, and they give her messages.
oh wow.
From working with her energy and opening her energy up.
Very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool.
So, and I was with a friend this weekend, and she's a Christian, and I'm a Christian, and she was like, I just feel like I have to be careful. And I said, and I totally understand that, because when I started, I think probably some of what kept me from stepping into this journey to begin with was my Christian beliefs and kind of what, maybe the Bible says or what other people say about, this type of thing. And what I found out through this is God is so much more infinite than you can imagine. My relationship with Him has just changed and grown. Blossom. Yes, it's just, I understand God so much more now, and who He is and what He wants for us. We are His energy. Our soul is His energy. Our soul is God's spark, and our soul is our energy. This is just our body, And so when we work with our energy, we're working in tandem with God to work for the highest good, because that's all that God wants for us, is the highest good in our lives. And so we're working to bring that vibration to a point where you're in connection with God at a higher vibration, and with the world and with other people. And that's why I say, I want to be a healer. I want to bring people, I want to help them raise their vibrations so they're in connection with God, they're in connection with other people, they're in connection with the world in a peaceful, joyful way.
That's amazing.
That's
that you're
awesome.
doing this. I think it's so intriguing that you're really following your passion and you feel like this is something that you've been wanting to do, because many people could be putting it off, or but the fact that you're following through and doing what you feel like you were called to do, it's admiring.
And I'll be 65 this year, and there was a part of me that's like, oh, why did I wait so long? Or she's, I could have been doing this, but I'm right where I need to be,
Yeah.
right at this time, and this is when I'm meant to step into being a healer. And I'm very excited about it. I'm very
Yeah.
excited that this time came, and it was the right time for me to step
We're
into.
thankful that you're taking us on this journey
Oh,
with
thank
you in
you.
a way, and it's been very interesting talking to you and seeing how you're progressing with your own Reiki journey and all of that. So we're excited to see how the rest of it goes.
Oh, I'm so excited. It's, as you can tell, it's become a passion with me,
Mhm.
and that passion just continues to grow as I see what it can do for people.
Yeah, you can tell just talking to you, it radiates.
Thank you.
It comes so naturally, and you love doing what you do.
I do, and I can be, my Reiki Master says, you, in your time, because I just want to learn it all right now. I
Yeah.
just want to absorb it all. And she's like, in your time, it will come
Mhm.
in your time, and I truly believe that I'll have a good practice someday, a thriving practice where I can
I'm sure you will.
help people and, bring the kind of healing I want to bring to them.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's
Do you
awesome.
have any more questions?
What was your very first experience with energy healing? It doesn't necessarily have to be Reiki. It can be,
Yeah, no,
but-
it's totally something else, and I didn't realize it until I got into this part of my life, is I'm a big believer in laying hands on for healing and praying. And that's energy healing.
Yeah.
If you think of it, that's energy healing. I'm calling on God, who is our energy,
Mhm.
laying my hands on and asking that healing to come through my hands into that person. So that's really my first
That's awesome.
energy healing.
That's very cool.
All right, well, thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
coming back, and we appreciate it.
We'll be back one more time when
Yes,
towards the end. I'm
yes.
excited.
I am too.